Sev, my man, dude. Oh my God, do you want to talk about this on Discord? No, I want to talk to Sev about this discovery thing. That's what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about business. Wait, why doesn't this work? Hey.
Hello?
I can hear him. He can't hear me. Hang on.
Oh, God.
Hold on. Oh, God, it's so loud. Hang on. Why isn't this not working? Lion.
I hear you.
Oh, you do?
I hear you.
Wait, really?
I hear you. What's up?
Oh, how you doing, man?
What's in that Eve folder? You know?
Eve stuff.
Yeah?
Maybe, or it might be like my secret porn. Hang on, let me check another window.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so there's a marketing tool in there, and there's a margin calculator and market helper.
Okay.
Wait, how can you hear me?
Respectable.
No, but how? Because it
how am I hearing? How am I hearing you?
Yeah, it doesn't go green on
Yeah, mine isn't either. I think it's Discord.
All right, well, as long as it works.
Yeah. I mean I went into my settings too because I'm like, wait, do I still have a stream on or something? Or like,
yeah, it's weird, but it works now, so I guess it works. Oh man, I am so glad you dropped in because I have so many. I really want to know your opinions on this.
Okay, I don't have long. I have to pick up my dog, but what's going on?
Okay, I'll give you like a super quick rundown. Okay.
Sure.
Have you seen the updates first?
I saw the Trello thing, which I gave my little opinions on stream, but
oh, you did already?
A little bit. I honestly haven't gone through it all.
Okay. So
I do notice, of course, that nothing is green. And I think that's an important point too.
It is. And then
to realize. Have
you seen like a lot of this other stuff that's like really what's the word? Like they call them weasel words in marketing, but it's like it's like help viewers find new channels by replacing stuff on the homepage with recommended streams. Like it's stuff that like doesn't have any actionable steps.
Oh, there's nothing. Yeah. I talked about that too. None of these have action.
Yeah.
The only ones that have action is the update the channel page, which, okay. I mean, you just destroyed a few forms of discovery there, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's definitely a thing. I get what they're doing, right? From a PR perspective, the concept is good, right? Because you're having people talk about it. Everybody's tweeting about it, like, "Oh my God, Twitch is actually communicating." You know, 3 months from now, when this thing isn't touched, I think it might be a different story.
Do you think that's what? Do you think it's like a communities thing where they just like that would be terrifying to me if they did that?
I think a lot of this. I think a lot of this is very much. I think a lot of this is very much in response to how a lot of broadcasters have been saying, Twitch doesn't tell us anything. Twitch doesn't ask for our feedback, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, this might have great intentions, but unless they actually act on responding to feedback and actually take it at, as valuable as it is, which it is, I think, there's going to be, issues. I think they're very good at PR. They're very good at saying what people want to hear some of the time. And then they're also pretty bad at listening. They think they're good at listening, but they're pretty bad at listening.
Yeah.
And so it's one of these things where, I spend 90% of my day listening, and I feel like Twitch spends 90% of their day PRing and then maybe 10 listening. And so I think it's good. It's obviously good that they're being, just overall, not about anything individually, but overall, I'm glad that they're, at least putting forth a little bit of effort, even if they just, told an intern to do this.
Right? Yeah. Which it's a Trello board, right? Like they pretty much did. Yeah.
Like, we don't want to write up a whole post on this or anything or whatever, but we'll just make a little Trello.
Yeah.
Go. This is your summer project.
They can't even put it on the blog. Like it's got to be on this freaking Trello board. Like, dude, oh man.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, like, one of the things that I'm really worried about that I think like a lot of people won't talk about, because this goes into sort of the search functionality and stuff like that. I want to get your opinion on this. So on my stream right now is, have you ever worked with like Google AdWords or done any like SEO stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So like the incredibly advanced system that YouTube has to be able to tell like what tags are what, and how like you can go on YouTube, right? and you can search for something like best ADC or like best support plays League of Legends, right? And you'll get channels that aren't like huge. You'll get people with like 10K subscribers or whatever making like on the top 3 that make these discoverable. So what worries me is that even if Twitch like actually decides to assign more than like one intern's like 5-hour period in the afternoon onto this, even if they do assign a team to this, the catch up that they have to play to make this an actual viable, the tag system, an actual viable system is nuts, right?
Yeah. And, you know, if we look at it, I hate to do this, especially on Twitch, because, okay, maybe it's, okay, my audience doesn't give a shit about business.
Yes.
But,
this
so
Minecraft,
I tend to stay away. I tend to stay away from talking about it. But if you just look at the talent pool that Twitch has been hiring, you know, the big executives that they've been bringing in, they're kind of in this weird transition phase, right? Where they're bringing in all these people that are seasoned at running big companies, and are, you know, admittedly destroying the culture and everything that made Twitch what it was.
Yeah, the Silicon Valley guys.
Yeah. And so, you know, but I look at all these hires, and what I don't see is a bunch of technical prowess, right? I don't see a bunch of people that are going to come in and yeah, they're not going to be able to recreate anything even close to, you know, Facebook keying or AdWords or any of those, right? There's no way.
Yeah.
And I think from my understanding, and you know, these posts are pretty awful, right? Make search better. Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's wonderful. You know, make the button bigger. Does that make it better?
Yeah.
But just the whole concept of tagging is weird, because I think what it actually is, when they say something like that, what I take away from it is basically what they said for AutoMod, right? And they called AutoMod AI and machine learning, which it's not.
No, that's insane.
Right?
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. It's simply an algorithm, and you know, for example, YouTube is literally AI and machine learning.
Yeah,
like,
people don't realize that. Like the amount of work that goes into AdWords is like it knows what you want before you know what you want. If you
absolutely,
if absolutely, literally,
that's what it should do.
Yeah, if you go to the recommended page on YouTube, like it's showing me videos that I've never watched before that I currently want to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
And so actually, what's interesting about this is I spoke to, and I don't think none of this is under NDA. I spoke to some people in engineering at YouTube, and when I asked them, you know, how often do you change the secret sauce, right? Because you know, everybody wants to know. Okay, now you have to do this to your videos to get high. You have to do this, and their answer is they literally don't know, because they don't make the decisions.
Yeah.
Right. Their AI and their machine learning, that's what makes the decisions.
That's crazy.
So they basically give a target, and their AI and machine learning code is optimizing for that target, which right now I think, you know, and this is where they have a little bit of play, right? So they tell the machine maybe, you know, optimize X% for ad revenue, optimize X% for total minutes watched, right? They go through and they decide all that stuff. But then in the end, the machine decides based on user behavior, based on uploading behaviors, what the optimal algorithm is for that. And they don't know it, right?
Yeah.
It's one of these things where literally the machine controls it all, and all they do is they define the endpoints that they want to see, right? They just set what they want it to do, and how it accomplishes it, they don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's really powerful.
That's insane.
But that's not what Twitch is going to ever do.
No,
right?
Because they have to build that system from the ground up, right? And when you take a platform like Mixer, right, where Mixer is doing like the hype zone thing, where it's like
sure,
it's filtering viewers or it's filtering concurrent viewers into multiple streams so that you can like get a concurrent base and get your discovery higher. Those things were built with the skeleton of the platform. But Twitch was never built on search functionality, right? So even if you do get this insane AI and this machine learning stuff up for Twitch, you still have to train your users to use it. And that's a huge problem too, because like Twitch admits in this like search functions thing, they say less than 15% of their searches are successful.
Right.
Which
I don't
is
know what
crazy.
Success means.
Yeah, that's another problem.
I assume they're doing some sort of thing where it's like, okay, they did a search, they clicked on something, and they stayed there for longer than X amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? I assume that that's what they consider success. But this document it's super like it doesn't have any details, so we don't know what any of this means. So to, on
it scares me more.
For the layman, it's fine, I guess, right? People that don't want to know how the sausage is made, sure. But I mean, what we care about for channel growth and all those sorts of things is we care about what's in the sausage, right?
Yeah.
So when you say something like add tags to Twitch, my interpretation of what that means is Twitch isn't doing anything. It's just going to allow you to add tags to things, and then they're going to just integrate that with search, which is a really easy thing that was done in like the year 1999. Yeah. But that's how I read it. And so, for me, it's like, okay, well, I will self-admittedly here create the first tag bot on Twitch, and I will find which tags put me at the top.
Well, so that's another thing, right? Is that I think a tag system for broadcasters is useless without knowing the analytics behind it. Because the only thing that gives a tag system the use is because we can go onto AdWords and we can say, okay, well, Play League of Legends has 1K viewers, but if I type LOL, it has 1 million. But if I type LOL Games, it is 100K, right? You can determine what tags you want to use based on your searching those functions in AdWords. But if Twitch doesn't tell us through their analytics, which they won't, how successful these tags are and how many people are searching them, how will we know what to use? And the same problem with communities.
Oh, communities are awful.
The thing we had on the stream earlier, find them. Find them without using Google. You can't. You actually cannot do it. Like if you,
I'm in girl streamers. I think I'm the #1 there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
But that's what tags are, right? That's what. Yeah. That's really what they wanted. They called it communities. It really was tagging. I think, honestly, I don't know this, but I think they're going to get rid of communities because it's terrible and just switch to tagging. But I do think it is going to be a manual tag system. And I think all that it's actually going to be, I don't think it's going to impact search or anything like that. Twitch doesn't do these very deep products. No product on Twitch is deep, right? It's very shallow. It's sort of bare bones minimum, see if it's viable, and then don't fix it. Although it should be, there should be more steps to that.
It's that fail forward mentality in Silicon Valley they have.
Sure. So I think what it's going to be is
go forward, they just fail.
You tag your stuff, right? You tag your streams. And then when somebody clicks on, as they give the example, Fortnite, all it's going to do is I think there's going to just be a little bar at the top with the top tags. You click on a tag and it just filters the streams in that category by that tag.
That would still help a little bit, even if they did that.
I think that's what it is.
Interesting.
I mean, I think for me, thinking about this just from like maybe even an engineering perspective, that is the easiest sort of MVP to put out there. You know what I mean? It is by far the absolute minimum, right? Yeah. So it fits the description of an MVP, and it's something that's super easy. It's something that they can roll out by August, I think is what it said.
Yeah, early August.
And it's something that, I mean, because clearly, if they want to build something and put it out by August, it's got to be going now. And the description that they've put on here is very weak, which means that I think the product itself is going to be pretty weak. So what I see is just that. It's just going to be a tag system, and then there's going to be a way to filter by tags. What those tags are, I don't know, right? Are they things that you can just make up? Are they things that because if it's something that basically what I would do, and this isn't, I think this is fine. Yeah. What I would do is just write a bot that every 60 seconds checks what the top tags are in the category I'm in, and then makes the 5 tags that I get to choose those top 5. Like it's super hackable. It's super inefficient, but I think that's probably where they're going to start.
How would you check popular tags without analytics to tell you which ones would be?
Oh, I would just scrape it. I would just have a bot that just goes through and scrapes the page.
Okay.
And just tells me the 5. Yeah, there's definitely, they're not going to build out an API or anything for it.
Yeah, I would say like that data would be on their side, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, the data would be on their side. I would just see the top tags, like where people are clicking the most. I would just take that data, stick it in my own, and just have it auto update.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, but that's just because it's a very simple system. And the thing is, I think it's going to be a very simple system.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to me like they're, generally speaking, spending a ton of engineering resources. I don't know what they actually are spending a ton of engineering resources on, admittedly, but
I don't either. Yeah,
I don't really see much, right?
VODs,
I guess, you
maybe?
know, bounty boards.
Yeah.
Bounty boards was a relatively deep-ish product, I guess.
Didn't some people actually like make money off that? I haven't played with it, but
oh yeah, I did. I mean, I did.
That's really
and
cool.
It works. It works. It's very good for small broadcasters, and I think it'll stay there. It's just not worth it for big broadcasters, and they're not. I don't think Twitch is even going to let big broadcasters take part in it. It doesn't make sense, because the whole point of the concept of the bounty board is that you're spreading these funds over a large number of broadcasters.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, if Summit jumps in and is like, yeah, I'm going to do this bounty, well, boom, it's all gone. Right, the entire pot's gone.
That makes perfect sense.
I mean, it works, and I think it's great. That's, you know, a great thing for smaller broadcasters, and we'll see sort of how many it impacts. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good step as long as they keep this up. It's a good, the concept of showing the community what's going on is good. I think this is something that's obviously been lacking on Twitch's side for quite a while. And I mean, especially with the VidCon announcements from YouTube. Oh my God.
What were those? I didn't hear that.
You didn't? Oh, dude, look them up. It's okay. Let me try to remember. 4.99 subs, done.
Wow.
Premieres, live stream premieres. So what they've done is they've taken their live stream system backend and they've created a premiere system for it. So on YouTube, you can now premiere videos as if they are a live stream, and then they become the VOD after their premiere with a full chat room, full enhanced chat room. So your 4.99s have all your emojis and everything else in there. Like they went hard in the paint.
That's crazy.
They went nuts. So basically, they took a whole bunch of stuff from Twitch. They took a whole bunch of stuff from Patreon, right? So early access to VODs and stuff, done. It's on YouTube now, right? With the 4.99 sub. Like it's pretty. What was that company called? It was started by the Hulu execs with Fox. Vessel, right? Vessel is dead now, I think. And the Vessel platform concept, though, is basically now completely integrated into YouTube. Where, you know, you can get your videos a week early or whatever. It's pretty that's pretty compelling.
Are you looking at Instagram
cool.
TV?
That looks interesting.
I'm really interested in that. Like, at the very least, you can syndicate all of your videos that you're doing to YouTube to Instagram TV. There's no reason not to.
But before I forget, merch, integrated merch now on YouTube.
What like clickable on the video or
clickable
what?
Below a video. Like if you just go to YouTube and go to Lucas the Spider.
Okay.
You know that little stupid, that little kid spider.
I've never seen this dude, but
it's a cute little spider. Just go to Lucas the Spider's channel and go to just any of the videos and scroll down.
This is his whole deal. He's a spider.
Yeah, he just creates animations of spiders. Go to any of his videos, and they're cute for kids, right?
Yeah.
So just go to like the first video and then scroll down, and you'll see.
Scroll down.
There's his merch. Just scroll down below the video. It's above the comments, I think. Let me check. It is above the comments and below the description. It says "Buy Lucas the Spider merchandise." Do you see that?
No.
Are you logged in?
Yeah. Unless I'm seeing something.
I'm literally on the same video you are, and I see it.
Really?
Wait, what? Is this in some sort of beta?
The Twitch front pages, like some people see it, some people don't.
Yeah, I mean, this could be some sort of A/B testing going on.
Yeah, it could be.
Hold on, I'll just screen cap and send to you.
Yeah.
Let's see, and then I think you can just paste. Yes, got it.
The spider's legit.
Yeah, so if you just take a look at that. So they've done a deal with Teespring, which interestingly enough used to work with Twitch. They don't anymore. Where they have integrated merchandise. Just like right there on the page. And you can just buy it.
That's pretty crazy.
He sold in 18 days over $1 million. worth of merch.
That's what like Lyric does in a month. That's crazy.
Disgusting.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. Merch was a pretty big one. So yeah, if you have over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can unlock merch. And then the $4.99 thing is anybody over 100,000 subs. Done. Which allows you to do extra videos, shout outs, basically everything that you could do on Patreon.
Can you only use Teespring for the merch?
That is their first partner.
Okay.
YouTube phrased it in a way where it's like, we're getting more. It's not just going to be a one shop thing.
So for you, as like, you're the top of your category on Minecraft almost all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you interested in anything they're doing for Discovery at all? Or just as like a health of the platform type thing?
Of course, because I'm gonna tag hack for sure.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, Discovery is important. I mean, honestly, not as much for me. I don't stream that much. It's for, my employees. Discovery is super important.
Well, let's take someone like them, so let's take Dan or Giant Waffle. Like these guys are already like huge, right? Like, will this affect them at all?
Of course it will. Absolutely. And we're gonna find ways to growth hack out of it. It's just being at the top. While it's good, it's really good at getting transient traffic. It's really bad. It's not really bad, but it's everybody. So it's a weird discussion, right? Because small broadcasters and large broadcasters, it's almost like it's two different games. And
yeah, it is definitely.
And both types of broadcasters have difficulty with the conversion, right? Getting people through the funnel and staying on their channel for more than 30 seconds, right? The over under is 30 seconds. So from the time somebody enters your channel, you have 30 seconds to make them stay or else they're gone on average.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It used to actually be less. So last year when we did the calculation, it was about 20 seconds. So people are apparently giving more
of a chance, huh?
Yeah, giving people more of a chance. But also what's interesting, I think, and this, the thing is, I don't think there is such a thing as a bad broadcaster, right? I just think there are broadcasters that are have more mass appeal than other broadcasters.
Really? That's a super interesting. Really?
Yeah. I think there are just some broadcasters that have more mass appeal, and that's just how it is. So there are, and just like on YouTube, for every 1,000 people that feel like they failed on Twitch, which again, I don't agree with. I don't know what that means. I mean, you streamed, you did well, right? As far as I'm concerned. There's still only going to be one person that actually quote makes it to the point of doing something. And I mean, it's very difficult to describe this to smaller broadcasters that, I've been streaming for 5 years and I still only have 40 viewers. It's challenging for me, to be like, yeah, you're doing great. It's just, Twitch is screwing you. It's just Twitch. It's just Discovery. It's not your fault. It's just Twitch.
Yeah.
It's a challenge for me to see that. Right. So I think Twitch, while the Discovery thing is good, I think there's also a lot of things that have to happen just from, there's a lot of people that just think the reason people become big on Twitch is because Twitch hands it to them. And I can definitively say that that's BS.
I think it is too. Yeah.
And that's just not.
And
not
I also
the case.
think in the reverse, it's not true either, that if a person is failing on Twitch, it's not entirely because of Discovery, because they could be doing other marketing or advertising things to pull more people in for exposure.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. I mean, your goal, and I tell this to even our top broadcasters, right? Your goal during every stream is the way you grow your channel in a way that keeps your viewers there no matter what. Is every time you stream, you have one goal, and that is to get one person, anybody watching you, to simply have a friend watch you, right? Ooh. That's it. That's all you have to do. And if you do that, this is a course now. No, and you're good to go. Honestly,
no, I'm really taking
about that. If you think about that social hack, it's the best social hack I've ever given, and I've grown tons of channels using this, right? That's the way, if you're watching TV and an advertisement tells you to watch the next season of Sherlock, you're like, okay, cool. Next season of Sherlock's happening. if your best friend calls you and says, I'm watching the
this
next season of Sherlock, I want you to watch it too, that's a totally different ball game.
Yeah. It's just the difference between a warm lead and a cold lead. It's like literally like in sales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I think, Twitch is the cold side, right? Twitch and all their discovery, all those sorts of things, they can put some viewers in front of you. Converting those viewers is the challenge. But if you are able to have somebody watching you, if you just a few times a day during your stream just say, hey guys, tell your friends about the show. If you're really enjoying it, get them in here too, so we can have a cool discussion with your friends, those sorts of things. If you just grow your channel by one person per day, right? One person per day. Think about that. In a year, you've got 400 viewers. It's just done. Or you take a different approach and you say, okay, I want 1%. No, I want 0.1% of my audience, 0.1% of my audience to tell their friends about my show. If you have 1,000 viewers, 1/10 of your audience tells them with cumulative. If you do that cumulatively, that gets your channel over 2,000 viewers in a year. Like, but and it's not, while that sounds like that is so slow, right? There are viewers that stay, right? They are viewers that are committed because they have some sort of connection
and they've joined the community.
Yeah. It's all about that. It's not like, oh, there's a spike today because I got raided, which is pretty useless, right? It's more along the lines of, hey, I was told to come here by somebody who's passionate about what's going on here. I'm now more susceptible to also being passionate about what's going on here. And in a week, 2 weeks, a month, I'm going to tell one of my friends. Right.
So what would be the call to action to one of those people? Would you have them share it on Twitter? Would you have them physically message a person? Like, how would you
call them, text them, text them, just tell, and every time I do the shout out, I just tell them to do it. Right. I tell them, hey, put it as the subtitle in your Snapchat dick pic, right? Just do whatever to increase your social net. Right. That's really what it is. It's increasing your social net.
And you've had actual experience with let's say pretty small broadcasters that have implemented this, and then you've seen a huge change.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a few that we've done this with that are now over 2K easily, and they started at like 200.
That's actually crazy.
It's one of these things where there are so many ways that it's a different world from when I started, right? When I started, first of all, nobody played Minecraft on Twitch.
Yeah.
So my starting audience, the first day I broadcasted, I had 75 viewers.
That's
because
crazy. Yeah.
I was literally
the only
person, only person there.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of the first 2-3 years on Twitch, or JTV into Twitch, simply growing Twitch, right? I spent a lot of, do you have any idea how many emails I sent to people like Captain Sparkles and Tom Syndicate and all these guys? Every day I sent them messages on YouTube through their personal emails. They would never reply because I was were you looking
for collabs or like?
No. I just wanted to stream on Twitch.
Oh, you're just telling them to stream.
I just wanted them to be here because if their community knew about how freaking awesome this place was, they would, at least 1 or 2 of their millions would stick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then eventually they're not going to stream when I am streaming, and somebody's going to come in and say, oh, this is cool too.
So right? Your rising tide lifts all boats.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so eventually I think it was about 1.5 years in to pestering Tom. He was like, fine. And he came over and streamed on Twitch. He had like 15,000 viewers on Twitch at once, which at the time was absolutely nuts.
Just bonkers, yeah.
And that's how we grew the Minecraft category on Twitch.
Wow.
It was just by things like that. So there are definitely ways of going about growing your channel besides relying on this Trello board, right? I think that oftentimes broadcasters look at this and they're like, this is it. This is what's going to do it.
This is what we're going to do. Yeah.
Yeah. This I'm going to go balls deep onto this new Twitch discovery thing.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't work out, they get upset at Twitch because suddenly it's Twitch's small.
They're going to assign themselves like 5 tags and be like, I'm ready. Let the viewers come in. It's going to be that thing. Yeah.
And it's just not that way. And sometimes it sucks to say, but most people on Twitch are not destined to be successful on Twitch as far as it is their job. Right?
But you think that's not because they are not entertaining enough? You said that, is that right? Like you said that.
No, I think they're not entertaining enough. Yeah, no, I totally think that they don't have. Yeah, they are entertaining to at least a couple people, whoever are watching them, but they don't have the mass market.
So there are bad broadcasters in that sense, right? Like there are people that are essentially never.
There are people that are not going to be as successful, sure. But I think that also comes with what are your goals? What are your goals? Yeah. Right? First of all, if you've never done any sort of broadcasting, if you are not, if you've not done any sort of entertainment, even if you've done open mic, at least you've done something, right? And then you decide, you know what? I'm going to quit working at Pizza Hut and I'm going to become a Fortnite streamer. I'm going to be as big as Ninja. Okay. You're delusional.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So few people know his story, right? They don't know that he streamed for years and years.
I love telling that story. 7 years on YouTube. Nobody cared about him, right?
No one.
Halo, everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nobody
cared.
Dr. Disrespect, same story, right? Like nobody cared. Made really weird YouTube videos.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. He made like these bizarre YouTube videos of him like running through alleyways to like 80s synthwave music and like beating people up.
Nobody gave a shit.
People had like 40 views and stuff. And then like all of a sudden he's this huge streamer and people were like, overnight success, like Dr. Disrespect, like blew up. Like, no. Yeah.
They've been working at it for super long time.
Every minute.
And then they got their quote break, if you will. Right?
Exactly.
Which you're gonna, if you're working that hard at it, you're going that hard in the paint at it, you're gonna get a break of some sort sometime.
Yeah, because there's a forced culture and luck.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, but some people are like, oh, it just happens. So as long as I'm live, it'll just happen.
Did you read that? I was thinking about you when this came up. Do you remember it wasn't a month ago, it's probably a little bit less. There was that one Twitch streamer, and this went to the top of the Twitch subreddit, and it like got huge. It had like 5K upvotes, where it was like, it's impossible to stream on Twitch. I think the guy's name was like Uber or something. And basically he made this case like where, let me see if I can find it and link it to you. Yep, here it is. I found it. It's like right in my search bar because I was talking so much about this. Let me link you it on Discord. So this guy basically makes this post or makes this YouTube video. And the YouTube video is what streaming has done to my life. Okay. And like he goes through it and he's like, I streamed for 7 days a week, something like 10 or 13 hours a day. And I got nowhere. Like I have like 5 viewers. I've lost my girlfriend. I've lost all my money. I'm living in like a apartment doing like part-time delivery. My house is a mess. Right. And the response, everybody on the like bottom of the subreddit, all the upvoted stuff is like, oh my God, like it's so bad. Like this sucks. Like, yeah, Twitch is impossible. Then there's like a few guys on the bottom that are like, hey, look at his streaming history. All he did was stream like Bless Online, and like he did it at like 3 to 4 a.m. and he took entire months off, right? Like it's like this total. But then the craziest thing about this was this guy got a following because he made this YouTube video. So so now he has 400 concurrents all the time. So what happened was YouTube got him popular because he made a video about not being popular on Twitch. Holy shit. It blew my mind.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. That's a great social hack. Yeah. I bet he didn't think about it.
No, he didn't. But still.
But if I was in that situation, that is absolutely something I would think, right?
Yeah.
How can I do a brilliant social hack out of this?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's always, it's very discouraging to me when people actually think that that's how it is, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it takes a special sort of somebody that decides to quit their job with 3 concurrents and do it full time. It's who are you streaming for? Right. If you're streaming for the Sultan of Brunei, and they tip well, then it's
you might be okay. Yeah,
sure. Mm-hmm. But you gotta be realistic.
Yeah. One of the things I think about is like when you go to like the games queue and like the Fortnite queue, like how many of these people are actually trying to make, because I guess they said on their oops, I clicked on like some random dude. They said on their thing, like how many of these streams, there can be up to 18,000 streams in the Fortnite category alone at any given time. Yeah. How many of these people are trying to become full-time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people on Twitch, I don't know, man. I remember, and you remember, I mean, remember when streaming was fun? Right? And I think a lot of people kind of go into streaming nowadays as work. And they're like, you know what? I don't care if I have fun. I care about seeing my concurrent numbers go up.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people
big
get
streamers
stuck.
do that. Mm-hmm.
I think that's where you get stuck, right? It's just kind of where you're like, suddenly you stop having the passion, and your viewers can see it, and they might not know that that's what they're seeing, right? I do think that this is something that's usually subtextual. It's something that people don't realize, and the viewers don't realize it, and the broadcaster doesn't realize it. But the more, infatuated you get with this one number, or, this whole, oh God, okay, I got bills to pay.
It starts to drive you crazy.
It does. And your audience feels it and reacts in a negative way.
This happened to me. Like, this actually happened to me when I thought that my income became dependent on broadcasting, and I was streaming League of Legends because I was getting a lot of concurrent viewers and I was making a lot of money off of it. But the game was totally soulless to me. I hated it. Like, I hated every moment. I remember very vividly, I had this moment where I was just about to press the start stream button. I just started crying under my desk because I couldn't do it. Yeah, it was that bad. Like, and the reason why I actually came back to broadcasting in a real way at this point is because I'm financially okay from doing other businesses and stuff like that, right? That, like, this is actually truly enjoyment for me. I'm here because I want to be.
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
And I think if you don't have that cloud over you, right? This is why I always tell people, if you're going to start broadcasting and you want to do it don't quit your job.
Yeah.
Right. Be miserable there. and then come home and be really happy here. And if it happens, it happens. But trying to force it to happen, especially in a talent-based world, right? Talent is not like, whatever your normal 9 to 5 is. It's just not. It's not in any way, shape, or form the same. Right? Think about how many failed actors there are. Think about how many failed voiceover artists there are. Right? There's way more than are successful. Yeah. And it's one of those things that it requires you to do a crap load of work. You have to build a massively strong foundation so that when the day comes, because everybody has a chance, right? I do believe everybody at some point has a chance. As long as you've built up that strong foundation, then you can convert that chance into something that's successful. But I think a lot of people just expect to stream for a month or two and, oh man, I'm as big as Ninja. And it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
I don't know of anybody that worked that way.
There's a crazy delusion on that, and there's a really good video by Gary Vaynerchuk that's called Overnight Success, and he actually puts a challenge out to the community. He's like, show me. He's like, show me somebody on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever that did it in 2 nights, 3 nights, like whatever. You can't do it.
I mean, there's only one person I can think of, and that was a viral thing. So, but it wasn't even her. Right? The Catch Me Outside girl. It wasn't even her that did it. it was somebody else using her as proxy. She had no foundation.
Even the people like MJ had years put in by their parents. Like a lot of people use like Mozart, where like, well, he was making his own like sonatas and stuff like that by like 5 or 6. But even he had years and years of work put in by Leopold, like before he ever got to that level, right? So like that work was put in for him. Yeah, and he still had to
you got to put in massive amounts of work. You got to get the foundation. I mean, you're not even a seasoned broadcaster for a few years, right? To know how to handle all the different situations, to have your persona, because nobody is themselves on stream. Sorry, it's just not.
You got to be. You have
everybody
to be a
is everyone's a cartoon of themselves, which is how it should be, right? Your goal is to be entertaining.
Yeah,
and most people are really boring.
Yep.
And so it's. But and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, right? That's like expecting I would say Tom Cruise, but he's terrible. It's like expecting Matt Damon to always be himself in a movie. No, he's playing, he's acting, right? He's providing entertainment to you. And while it's true that Twitch is more real entertainment, right? You're definitely it's definitely more you. Even the top of the top that are, constantly streaming for 10, 12 hours a day with thousands and thousands of viewers. They'll all say when they sit in front of their computer and turn on the camera, they become at least a slightly different person.
Oh yeah,
you have to be.
Yeah, you know, one thing I really wonder about that, and I think this is something like only you would have context into. Why is it that those broadcasters will sort of cap out at a certain viewer amount and they won't go past it? Large broadcasters in particular. So like, if you take like Lyric or even Dan's Gaming or any of those guys, like, they'll hit like a certain. Actually, Dan is weird because he like goes all over the place. Sometimes he has like 15. Sometimes he has like 5. Like, but like you take a person like but you take a person like Lyric, right? Where like Lyric does
40K concurrent always.
He can never pass it. He want to go to 50 or 60. Like what is with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to that. Honestly, if you look at, I don't know if Sully Gnome has the chart. Does Sully Gnome have this chart?
There's like a cap somehow.
Well, there's a viewer cap, right? There's a viewer cap on Twitch. Let me see here, viewers. Yeah, if you just go to Sully Gnome. Do you know Sully Gnome?
No, who's this?
Here, let me just give you this.
Okay.
This is what I think is probably the best Twitch data out there right now. It's just one guy who this is what he does. It's a really bad looking website. Okay. But it's good deep analytics, right? If you go to places like Twinge and whatnot, sure, they have good numbers, but they don't surface everything. He just throws it in your face and says, hey, you digest this however you want to. But if you look at that, right, that's the Twitch viewer chart. The sort of average daily viewers at the top right. You can kind of see that chart, and it's a very slow growth thing there.
Are you up on Lyrics or something?
No, I'm sure exactly yours. Okay. The one that you see, the one that is there, the one I linked to you.
Is this total viewers?
That is total Twitch viewers. Yes.
Okay.
Total Twitch concurrence. So that's a measure
across
of
the platform.
Yeah. That's a measure of the total concurrence across the platform.
Oh, this is fascinating. Okay.
And then if you open in a new tab, you open this page in a new tab. Okay.
Where'd it go?
If you open that page in a new tab, and you take a look.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, did I?
Yeah. It says 365. Yeah, but just tell me where to go. Yeah.
No. It's viewers and channels. If there's 2 different pages. So if you go to the viewers page, you see the chart on the right.
Oh, okay.
And then the channels page, if you look at the chart on the left, you can see the first chart on the left there. You can see the slope of that chart is greater than the slope of the chart at the top right of the viewer. And then if you divide those two, you get the important chart, which is the one on the right. So if you see the one on the right called channel viewer ratio.
Yeah.
It's on the channels page, channel viewer ratio for the last year. You can see it's going down. And what that means is that the number of channels is increasing faster than the number of viewers coming into Twitch.
Which makes sense. But that's really interesting.
You're spreading out less people over more people over more channels.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
So mathematically speaking, the fact that Lyric and Summit and all these guys aren't going down is what they should be happy about, right? Because in general, Twitch is going down. The number of average concurrents on a channel is currently going down.
Wow.
Because the number of channels is increasing faster than the number of people coming in to watch.
Yep, makes perfect sense. But doesn't that not necessarily suggest that that's a cause? That's not necessarily a correlation, right? Because it may be that the number of people staying on the channels is the same, but since there is a greater number of channels coming into existence, it simply just skews the average. Is that right?
Sure, but those channels are sucking up the new viewers, basically.
But how do you see that from?
It's not sucking up all the new viewers. It's sucking up. I guess putting it that way is not correct. What it's saying is that as these new channels are coming, the people from Lyric, the people from Shroud, the people from Summit, all these guys are moving to newer channels. They're
is
moving
that right?
To other channels, and then there's backfill, right?
That's the part I don't understand how this data tells that.
I don't know that this data specifically tells that,
but that's what's happening.
Our data.
Okay.
It's also important to realize how people come into Twitch.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't realize is, and this is just our data, our data shows that for every 2 people that enter Twitch, or sorry, for every 1 person that enters Twitch from over 1,000 viewers, 2 people enter from a small channel. However,
what does that mean exactly?
So first time they've ever been on Twitch.
Yeah.
The first time somebody ever comes to Twitch that enters through a channel, they don't just go to twitch.tv.
Yeah.
Right. They enter through some sort of referral from something, social media, YouTube, whatever.
Okay. They go to a smaller
For
channel.
every 1 that comes to a large channel, 2 come to a smaller channel. Right.
Defined as like less than 1,000 concurrents, or
I think we did it at 1,000. It was either 1,000 or 500. It was one of those 2 numbers. But if you take those same people and then look at where they land 30 days later, okay, so 30 days later, where do they end up spending most of their time? Almost all of them, 90% of them land at a big channel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which tells you something, right? I mean, that alone tells you magnetic personalities become large, right? That's just how it is.
That's crazy. So if that's the case, then still, why wouldn't Lyric and Soda Pop and people like that be constantly increasing their concurrent viewership instead of?
I think they they just have so much turnover. I think it's really what it comes down to.
Because we're talking huge numbers here. We're talking like 40,000 concurrents.
We're talking massive numbers.
Yeah, these are unfathomable numbers.
Realistically, not sustainable, right? So I don't think it's sustainable for anybody. I think they have a lot of traffic coming in and all time. You know, we find, well, here's another. Actually, I have solid numbers on this because I was just doing this data analysis. It's interesting to note how long people watch or the stream, right? Or how engaged people are. Let's talk about engagement.
Per unique viewer, or something different.
Yeah. So minutes watched per viewer.
That's the most important metric for sponsors and advertisers on Twitch too. Which it should be.
Absolutely. Minutes watched is super important. Minutes watched per viewer is a little bit less important depending on the deal, but it depends on the deal, right? So we're lucky in that I've always emphasized high engagement, high retention, and our broadcasters average something like 30 to 35 minutes, which is pretty nuts. And you can actually do this math yourself, right? This is super easy
to do. Yeah.
You just go to your dashboard and divide 2 numbers, right?
Yep.
You divide total minutes watched or total hours watched divided by.
For context, the Super Bowl is 38 minutes. So people will watch the Super Bowl for 38 minutes. So if you're watching
38 minutes.
Yeah. So if you're watching, say someone like Dan for 35 to 40, it's incredible, like for advertisers and sponsors.
And that's very high. By the way, that's very high on Twitch. What we find is that the higher you go, the lower that number goes. So the largest streams on Twitch,
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
They generally, some of them have all the way down to 3 to 5 minute averages. Which is
insane.
Can you just think of that turnover? Like,
yeah. So you're saying that
churn on that channel is insane.
So like Soda will have pretty much almost a totally different set of viewers after an hour?
I don't know if it'll be a totally different set, but there will be a ton of viewers that are transient, right? That they find them through all these discovery channels, right? But it's not necessarily where they end. So, there's front page, there's top of the board. There's also links on Reddit and YouTube and all these places to all these large broadcasters. So people click it and then they move on quickly is kind of what we find.
Is this accounting for bounce rate for people that stay for like 6 or 7 seconds?
Whatever is considered a unique view on Twitch's end. And I don't know what that is. It might just be page load.
Yeah, right? I think it might be, or it might be like a 3 or 4 second.
It could be as simple as page load.
Because YouTube recently changed that, right? Where it takes a longer amount of time, I think, for them to recognize.
Sure, you're not a viewer until you view for 15 seconds or something.
Which is a big deal. That's like a really big deal. Yeah, because there's some people I'll click on a video sometimes for like 6 seconds and be like, then that's it. I'm not a viewer.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
but that's why those numbers are churn at the top.
What's that you cut out?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's why there's just a massive churn rate at the top.
Yeah.
Right. So people are constantly coming in and out. And if you actually watch a stream, You watch every 30 seconds, right? Your viewer number, that red number updates. It can go up and down by thousands every 30 seconds. It's just all over the place.
Dang.
But as you get to smaller and smaller channels, that number gets larger and it maxes out. You know, it's hard to get a stream above 30, 35 minutes. But I mean, that's kind of what you want, right? You want to max. So I think it's hard for larger broadcasters to do that simply because they have so many transient viewers.
So you're saying at some point it basically becomes impossible to increase your viewership above a certain cap because the amount of viewers that are churning through it is so high. There's no way that they could get.
I think there's a lot of churn.
Yeah,
and I also think that there is, for every community population, there is some maximum. I find it hard to believe that somebody could go for, right, and grow into infinite.
So if that were so, what happens when I thought about this too, and I thought that way for a bit, and now I'm challenging my own assertion on that, because what happens when someone like Ninja pulls in 600K viewers from Drake? Where do those people physically come from? Like, and a lot of them have heard of Twitch, right? Because they're engaging with the chat. Thank you for the subs, by the way. It's awesome. So we're in a really awesome conversation, so I want to keep that going, but I really do appreciate it. Like, what happens when Drake comes on? Now all of a sudden Ninja's at 600K concurrents, right? Yep. Like, where did those people come from? What happened? Yeah, it's like really interesting. Like, that's a lot of them are familiar with Twitch too, because they're using the chat, they're engaging. Yeah, they came from a lot of places, right? And I think, is there any way to see that, to see where people are coming in from?
There's no way. There's no Twitch.
That would be Twitch's data. YouTube can do that. You can find it exactly where your viewers come in from YouTube. I hate that you can't do that on Twitch. It's so important.
You definitely can't. You definitely can't. But you can also see in one of the charts, but you can see a spike on that day, right, of just new viewers to Twitch or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is what you would expect.
So you're saying that a lot of those people didn't come from.
Even Ninja has a cap, right? And we're finding that cap like now.
Yeah. Yeah. He has like 120, 150, something like that.
Yeah. 115,000 seems to be about his cap. Now, obviously that can spike if there's something special going on. And that's right. If there's something special going on, then there will be spikes. But every community kind of has its core. How I think of it is every community has its core group of people, right? That core group of people makes up some sort of percent. And then you have some sort of transient percent, some sort of much more unstable group of people that watch you. And, you know, for somebody like a Lyric or whatever, that percent can be pretty large, right? People that are constantly coming in and out. But he has that base, right? He has that base of maybe, you know, I don't know what Lyric's base would be, but maybe it's sitting somewhere, right, 20, 25,000 people, that if he literally was not discoverable at all, that's where he would be.
Yeah. Right? And that's proven by the fact that they can, a lot of times those streamers, they'll put in random games. Like they'll just put in like Barbie's Adventure or whatever that, you know, nobody's watching, and they'll immediately get discovered. Yeah. Absolutely. Or immediately have that base. Yeah.
And also the growth is different for a large channel, right? Because a large channel is much less personal. Right. So you don't necessarily have all these personal connections to all your viewers and subscribers and all that stuff. There's no way you remember all 20,000 of your subs when you have 20,000 subs.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's one of these things where as your stream grows larger, it gets less personal. Those people who were there for when it was a personal stream start to fall off. And I think you start to get a balancing act. And so I think for these massive channels, that's what you're seeing where the balance is. And in theory, they could change some things on their stream to make it go one way or another. But realistically, I think the reason that most large streams plateau is simply that they have a core base of consistency. And then basically Twitch almost determines the transientness of the stream. So if that makes sense.
What's happening then with the same phenomenon, but with a, let's say, 100 to 300 concurrent stream, where you have a person who sits at 1 to 300 and they just don't grow? And I've actually like lots of, like, we have a lot of friends like this. You and I both, right? We have some shared acquaintances that they've been streaming on Twitch for like 4 or 5 years, and they maybe have like 150, 175 viewers. Like, what's going on there?
Sure. I think they haven't. There's a few things.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think they've growth hacked correctly.
Yeah.
So I think
so.
there's something there. I think there's some strategy involved that they haven't done properly.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that large channels have done it properly. They've maybe stumbled into it, or they didn't know what they were doing, did it.
Or they had some angle that channel didn't have. Yeah, it could be any number of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like
or they had
earlier.
They had a good friend that hosted them 3 times in a week, and they got something.
Well, I was talking earlier about how, like, just like quick diverge, like how a lot of the broadcasters that are at the top like have no business knowledge or idea like why they're there. Like,
no, of course not. That's why people like me exist.
Yeah, yeah, to bring them in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to make sure that they do have knowledge.
Yeah,
or at least have somebody who does have knowledge.
So a lack of strategy is a huge thing.
Strategy's a big one. I mean, also, and this is something you don't say to your friend because they're friends, but it's like they just don't have it, right? There's a lot of people that they're not cut out to be a 20,000 viewer streamer, right? It's just unless they change, right? Everyone can change persona on Twitch. If you can, survive for 8 hours a day doing that.
Yeah, as hard as that is. Yeah,
but I mean. And that's something you hate to say to people, and I hate to say it to people.
Yeah, me too.
It's because it's such a heartache. It's such a ball busting breakdown, where it's just like with the current way that the stream is run, the current way that you play games, it's just
not gonna happen.
It's just simply not mass market, right? You can have a great stream and just not be mass market. Right, it's just not what the market is currently looking for.
But is that what I'm saying? Is like there's a huge difference. I understand that jump from like 100 viewers to 10,000, but why can't like a 150 viewer broadcaster be a 500 concurrent broadcaster? Is that the same phenomenon?
Oh, they totally can. I think
so that's
part
a strategy
of it.
problem.
I think that's part of it. No, totally. I do think there's part of it, but also, I mean, strategy is all. Right, it's changing what games you're playing. It's knowing the market. It's knowing your viewers. It's
almost every broadcaster I know in that like 100 range like refuses to do that. They'll only play like really weird like Japanese games that nobody watches or stuff like that.
Yeah,
indie
streaming is not going to work.
Yeah, there'll always be a strategy problem with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's great that they're playing what they love to play, and I think you see this oftentimes. You see people trying to fix it, right? Like you'll see people that every month they suddenly have a new overlay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got new camera angles, new this. Oh God, and they're just like grasping for straws and not seeing the real situation, which is maybe they need to improve just themselves and what they're get more mass market. And B, actually think of some sort of social strategy that empowers your viewers to actually do something.
I don't see like a lot of broadcasters that like actually work on their own on broadcasting personality. Like take a comedy class, right? Go to improv, like do things like that. Like, those are things that
probably
are
the most
hugely important.
underdone thing.
Yeah,
everybody's like,
totally
I need
agree.
new graphics. I need new this. I need that.
Well, doesn't matter. Like how
you
work
on yourself.
Yeah. One of the first things I decided to do when I came back to broadcasting in like a real way was like, I'm going to take an improv class. Like I'm going to actually try to get a comedian like coach and like run me through this stuff because I think it's so important.
Improv's really fun, by the way, too.
Yeah. I want it. So the problem is you kind of need to have like a good group and a place to do it. And
I don't even know where you would go.
yeah, because of Tahoe, but like, and then like in LA, dude, like, oh my God, the amount of improv schools in LA, like, dude, if I like, you could just be like, if you live like anywhere in Los Angeles, like 10 minutes away is like the improv school where like all these people graduate, right? Like it's like, yeah.
Sure. And there's also a bunch, there's 10 other schools that are absolute ass of failed comedians, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, I failed as a comic, so I'm going to open to teach people how to, be comics.
Yeah. And that said, like, I think that actually being a comedian is one of the most difficult, like running a funny stream consistently is so much harder than actually being a comedian, right? Because being a comedian means you have an hour of prepped stuff that you deliver once per year, right? Like you do that once and then you deliver it over and over again. But being a streamer means you're funny consistently for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like it's so tough. Oh my God, man. Like it's so hard to be like that. That's why I admire broadcasters like Lyric or like Moon, who I think like who can just consistently create funny broadcasts. Those people are next level.
Right. And that's exactly what it is. Next level. Yeah. And most people are not
next level. Yeah.
It's just really what it comes down to. And sure, you can probably train that into some people, but there's also just natural abilities, right? It's just, there's a lot of that too, especially in a world of talent. right? Some people are very gifted in some things. Like you asked me to play the clarinet and you're going to see me nowhere, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be awful. I have no talent for that. But yeah, when it comes to running some sort of witty, funny stream, sure. It's just everybody has a different
set of strengths. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And just because video games are fun, and I mean, this is also just a big millennial cultural thing, right? It's like, do what you want to do, right? That's the very millennial, right? Oh, my job is going to be whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, I want to sit down and play video games all day, so I'm just going to stream. And that's when you get a lot of people who, just look at the number of channels that it's a person sitting there, not interacting, just playing a video game. And then they're wondering, well, why is nobody watching?
And then they blame Twitch.
Like,
and
it's not about the game. It's never been about the game, right? The game on Twitch, the game is just what brings people together. It's what gets people in the same place. It's your job then to be the action item to make those people want to stay with you and watch the game and be part of the community, right? It's so little about the game on Twitch. Nobody cares, right? It's just the thing that brought people to the same place.
That is so incredibly profound. Yeah.
And I think that's so important. And if you watch any large stream, that's what it's all about, right? Watch Dr. D's broadcast, right? It's not about whatever shooter he's playing at the time. The shooter is just what brought the people together. It's what holds everybody together like the glue.
Yeah.
It's sort of the background, right? It's the thing that puts everybody into the same space or arena, as he would say, right? It's him and his personality and the things he says and the way he interacts with his community. It's having great moderators who act like you want your ideal person to act, right? Like my moderators in my chat are semi-assholes, right? They throw pies at me virtually, right? They joke around with me. They give me shit because that's the kind of person that I want watching, right? I want people that are going to be interactive and make fun and jokes and be lighthearted and that kind of thing. And so building up a strategy of that and then just being in the game that is going to deliver the people to you, right? I see games as a funnel. It's like, okay, the game choice is who do I want to come at me today, right? Yeah. And it's finding the game of that day, finding the game that is going to deliver you the ripest peaches. It's going to deliver you the people that are going to convert the best into what you're selling. And I think that is how, you go from the 100 to the 10,000 is by truly understanding and acting on that strategy, which then goes back to obviously all the whole tell a friend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? When you find those people, when you see that person in your chat that's like, oh my God, I want to take that person and copy paste them 1,000,000 times. That's when you tell that person, yo, chocolate spread. Why don't you go tell your friend to come in too? Let's just hang out, you call them out, you talk to people, you bring in new people. And I think that's really how you grow a channel organically. And if you grow a channel organically like that, there will be a break. The question is, are you going to act on that break, right? Do you even have the community established? Do you have the ability to act on that break, right? If you have 100 viewers and then you get rated by somebody with 3,000 viewers, do you actually have the ability to convert those 3,000 viewers, right? Is your community of 100 strong enough to stand up to that kind of a raid in chat, show these people what the community they are that just came in, and to be able to overpower them with the kind of community you are to convert those people into your viewers? I don't know, man.
That is huge. It's like that's like the story of my life, right? Because like I've always had that advantage to get rated by people like Aframu and Destiny and people like I'm always getting those, but I can never hold on to those people because I didn't have the. That's how I knew actually that I needed to improve myself, right? Was because I knew that like I was getting these huge breaks of like I think one of the most iconic ones was I got featured. I was the last streamer to get featured on the League of Legends client, right? Like I literally was on the, like, if you open the League of Legends client, which is like, I don't know how many millions of people do per day, right? It's like right there. It's like Mylixia broadcaster, right? And so I had like 10K concurrence for like, I don't know, it was like a week and a half. Couldn't hold them.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't hold them.
Yeah,
like,
and that comes down to having a strong base, a strong user base already in your channel, and a strong base for yourself, right? And again, that's what you're talking about. You got to be able to handle the 10K, right? You got to be seeing the chat traffic increase, right? It's just compared to the trickles, and you got to be ready and able to handle that. And I think the slow growth model of organically growing a community is how you do that, and you become ready for those instances, because everybody has those instances, but so few people convert on them.
Yeah, and then every day that you're building that organic community, you're also hopefully building your personality to be 1% better. And like, I think a key to that is that so one of the things I promised myself I wouldn't do is look at any of my own personal analytics when I came back, because of that phenomenon you were talking about earlier, where you were just saying, oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking to see if I dropped frames or whatever. What you were saying earlier is you were saying that if you look at those numbers and that becomes your only focus, you go crazy. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to look at those numbers whatsoever. I'm going to put on the same level of broadcast for 20 people that I would do for 2,000.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, man. The whole fake it till you make it is absolutely. When I had, that first week when I was at like 70 viewers, whatever, I was a fucking rock star. Okay. In my head, I was jamming out in the AT&T Center, right? I was living La Vida Loca, and that's kind of what you do, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, and it doesn't mean, I think a lot of people take that advice wrong. And I think, especially for smaller broadcasters where viewers are expecting a more intimate conversational setting, you can still be a rock star and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
And I think what a lot of people do is they pretend like there really are 10,000 people there and chat's moving so fast they can't read it, right? They in their mind, that's where it goes. Like they go to a stream of like, hey, I'm pretending I'm 10K and I'm not talking to you, right? I'll answer one or two chats.
Or another really big problem I think on the same lines is Gary Vee has a word for this too, that he calls it you're fancy before you're fancy. And what it means is like, you think that you're someone, and so you're too good to, and this is so where a lot of people screw this up is Twitter and Instagram contents, right? Like, or sorry, not contents, tweets. Like if somebody tweets at you or someone posts a comment on your Instagram, you should respond to them, because they are taking the time to actually come to you and be like, hey, I want to engage you in something. But as an influencer, you're just too cool to respond to people on Instagram. You're too cool to respond to people on Twitter. And that one person who engaged with you, because you should be bigger than you are. Yeah, that is a huge mistake that a lot of people make, especially in like the middle range.
And it's also important to keep it consistent, right? So as you do grow, admittedly, as you grow on Twitch, it becomes harder. A lot of people don't see it that way.
A lot of the right people, like, so like again, to pull up Gary Vee, like you look at any of his tweets or any of his Instagram, that's a guy with 4 million followers. He was responding like the top comments he's responded to, right?
Sure.
Like,
and that's what I'm saying, right? It becomes harder to keep up with everything. But staying consistent so that if you are answering 1 or 2 tweets a day or 1 or 2 replies to each of your tweets a day, everyone should be doing at least 15 tweets a day. But
I don't know how to do that. I know I should.
It's so hard to get 15 quality tweets. Is almost impossible.
You want to know?
You can do it.
I need your help on this. I have a real problem. Okay. When I was in esports, I haven't told anybody about this yet. Like when I was in esports, I had a bunch of really influential people in a lot of different industries follow me. Okay. So like Madison Square Garden, the company follows me, right? Like, Gary Vaynerchuk follows me. Like a lot of these people.
I know exactly.
Do you know what I'm going to say? How do I what if I tweet something like really stupid, like fuck peanut butter and jelly? Like what, how do you get around that?
Right. Yeah. I'm in the same situation. You and I are.
You would be. Cause like you're a business dude. You have a lot of influential people.
I have tons of, not only that, I have like, and you do too. We have VCs following us.
Yeah.
We have really influential people following us, and you don't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
But, and I still, to this day debate it. I had actually debated creating a personal Twitter versus your business one, personality Twitter. And I decided not to. At some point, it's like, this is what you're getting. You're getting me full on personality. I don't care if you're a VC. And if I'm able to tweet something that's going to make you not fund my project, I really didn't want you to fund it anyway. Like, like, let's be real. If Twitter is that important to you, where I can't, you know, put up a GIF that I really like, or say something that's absolutely ridiculous and it's clearly a joke or whatever. If you can't handle it, like I just tweeted 2 hours ago, I made this game smiley face because it's a great, it's a great meme.
It's such a good meme, actually. It's an amazing game.
Probably the only meme that makes me chuckle for so long.
Yeah, it's like a number one. It's like, it's definitely like top tier meme status right now. I love that.
Right. And but like the CEO of Bethesda's reading me type that. Like it's like it's like, do I really want them to see that? And at some point I'm just like, you know what? Yes, I do want them to see that they're dealing with somebody who's real, right? Who they're dealing with somebody who's active in this space, right? They're dealing with somebody who is on top of the meme, does have opinions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, for me, it became a lot easier once I was like, screw it. I've only had like a couple people unfollow me that, you know, were actually like huge. Somewhat influential. But realistically, it actually gets, it generally turns out more positive in the end because, you know, we have something to talk about. The next time I see them, they're like, you tweeted this thing. And I'm like, yep, I sure did.
I'm seeing the, I made this game tweet. That's so funny.
Yeah, I made this game, smiley face. It's the smiley face that does it. It's just, it's the smiley
especially face. The one on Twitch, which is that kind of robotic smiley face.
Yeah. The
white faced one.
Yeah. Like, what?
It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
That's really good.
But yeah, like, and you know, it's like, okay, do you want sponsors to see all this stuff, this, that, and the other? It's like, yeah, you know what? I do. I just, you know, I want, sure. Yeah, they'll see it. And so, I mean, technically Twitter is the most transient piece of social media. Generally speaking, after an hour, your content is gone. Right.
It's even shorter than that. So your content's gone after an hour, but the actual attention span is less than 6 minutes. So the time between or the engagement profile for the actual tweet is like 6 to 8 minutes.
Right. So what we do, we recommend 15 a day, which is tough. Right. That's really difficult.
But if you want to succeed, that's how you do it.
But if you want to massively grow on Twitch or on Twitter, I mean, you do.
Instagram same thing, 3 to 4.
Yeah, it's
3 to 4.
It's less, but you want to post a lot. And stories 3 to 4, actual posts 1 to 2 a day, and then stories. You know, fill up your stories. Just always have a story someone can click on. Yeah, right. I don't, but
I don't either. I can't. I just, God, dude, it's so hard. Like, it's so hard to actually find what kind of Instagram I've been struggling with too. It's like, what do I post? Do I just post a selfie of myself and be like, hey, what's up? Like, what do I do?
Yeah,
it's
I mean, that is what you do. And and the thing is, like, I've become, you know, over the last few years, and you had this transition as well. Are you transitioning? Wait, can we make those jokes on Twitch right now?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah.
We both had to go through this transition of going from, like, you know, gaming oriented and whatnot, business oriented, right? Yeah. So like a lot of my time now, a lot of my interests, a lot of my research, a lot of everything I do is very business focused and business oriented. And so I've just said, screw it. And I'm just going to start posting that. Way less people are into that stuff, right? Way less people are into my business tweets and stories and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing. And so what I'm starting to think of social media, a stream of consciousness, right? Whatever I'm thinking about is kind of what I'm posting. So like I was going to post a lot more, for example, about the Coursera thing, but then I had to stream, so I didn't. But like, I think that's really how I'm finding, you know, to be able to post so much content to all these places is just stream of consciousness, right? It's just like, hey, I'm going to take a picture now because I'm going to pick up my dog. So it's like, all right, I'll take a picture, going to pick up my dog, boom, done. Right. And it's just one of those things like, what are you doing today? Right. What do you, because everybody it's just this weird voyeuristic thing that everybody wants to know what everybody's up to, even if it's something as simple as I'm laying on a couch now. Right.
Yeah.
They just want to know.
And the viewer experience, like the person that's experiencing your tweet is not like looking into it at the same degree as you are. Right. Like you're like, I wonder if that's true it's a little bit less true for Instagram. I think people are like looking a little bit deeper into it, but with Twitter, like you're just scrolling past things. Like if I see you tweet something, I'm like, oh, that's cool. you know? And like, if like you tweet something that I like, I guess is not relevant to me, I'm not like, well, I'm gonna unfollow that guy. Like, this is it. You know, it's like I'm just like, oh, okay. And then you keep scrolling because you're mostly just like scrolling through a feed.
Yeah, no, totally. And you know, I mean, that's, yeah, you really, I think that's where I'm finding social media is it's on the less on the, okay, let me think for 30 minutes about what to type and what to tweet and all that sort of stuff. And more on the stream of consciousness kind of.
And since you've changed that, has your engagement gone up? Have you seen like and the funny thing too is like
engagement, absolutely. Impressions, engagements is basically linear with posts on these things.
And yeah, that's true.
And so the engagement per post is a more interesting number, I think, and it does go up. So if you do a ton per day, it's like, oh God, I'm super saturating. People are going to get pissed off.
But that's not what happens.
It's actually not what happens. People are more interested, more people follow because they have more touch points. And as you were saying, there's this small window. So just because you post 15 times a day doesn't mean everybody who follows you is going to see you 15 times a day, right?
Yeah.
They're more likely to see you once or twice.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then they'll see your top tweet because you'll be on their recommended thing. Like, hey, you missed this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But versus them not seeing you at all, right? If you just tweet once or twice, they're more likely just to forget about you. I mean, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Or not see it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. They're going to forget about you because they're not seeing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what's interesting too is you're keeping this up even though you've got like this isn't even your focus. Like you're not even really trying to build a brand. Like you're a CEO of like a huge company building brands, but your own brand. Yeah, your own brand is just kind of your own fascination, sort of.
Yeah, no, it's become a much more personal thing because you know I'm not a full-time streamer anymore, and I do run businesses, and it's much more of a personal thing, just my personal interests and all those sorts of things. And yeah, like over the last few weeks when I've been doing this just stream of consciousness thing, I've had more followers than I think I've ever had slope wise.
Wow.
So just growth rate.
So like the strategy is you have a thought and you're just like, fuck it.
You have a thought that it
goes up there. I mean, obviously within reason. Like, yeah, obviously you're not like,
You have a thought that's okay to be in public. And what I'll do actually is I'll delay thoughts too. If I have a thought within 5 minutes of a thought that I post, I'll just delay it and schedule it for an hour from now. You know, everything has a great, Twitter is all about scheduling now and all that sort of stuff. So you just, schedule it out there and you just post it later.
You still need a program to do that, right? Like you can't do it on Twitter.
Can you do it on Twitter? I don't know. I use TweetDeck.
I use Buffer, so I do that too. But yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, TweetDeck is now owned by Twitter.
That's right. Yeah, we were using TweetDeck at CLG. That was like our exclusive thing.
I mean, I really like it. But yeah, whatever thing you use. Yeah, it looked like on the app on the phone you cannot schedule.
I don't think you can. I think you just use TweetDeck. Yeah, and it's good.
Yeah, but I'm almost always in front of the PC, so
or your phone or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. That's very helpful.
I kind of got to run. I got to pick up my dog. Or else I don't know what they're gonna do to him.
Dude, thank you so much for jumping on because
and let's chat more.
Absolutely, dude. I would love to. I mean, this is like I was thinking during this conversation. This is actually something I'm gonna go back and watch the VOD again so that I can like rehear some of the shit you said. Is so smart. Like it's actually really crazy. So thank you so much, man. I can't tell you how much I love talking to you.
No problem. Let's start a podcast and I'll talk to you later.
Oh, baby. All right. See you later, dude.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Later. Dude, I love Sevadus, man. That guy is so smart. Everything he says is so cool. I'm not kidding. Like, so I will actually go back and listen to that because it was that valuable. That was crazy good. Oh, man. If we did a podcast, I don't even know. That'd be so crazy. Okay.